So, bow fishing. Maybe you've tried it, maybe you haven't. But you may be wondering, is there any strategy to bow fishing? Well, that's what we'll go over in this video. So to get down to it, I mainly use two different tactics. One is just going down the shoreline, and the second one is ambushing. So with the first tactic or strategy, you just go down the shoreline, whether you're walking or on the boat. If you're walking, you want to be far enough away from the shoreline to where you're not going to scare the fish. That's pretty understood and easy to do. But when you're on a boat, you have a few different scenarios that could happen. So where I'm at, the shoreline is a straight drop off. There's normally 5 to 6 feet of water where the shoreline is. It's normally very overgrown and there's a lot of lily pads. And I mainly bowfish tilapia, so this may not go for other species that you fish for. So those tilapia, they like to wait under those lily pads, and sometimes they'll come out and sun themselves, or they'll be facing out of the lily pads, or they may be facing in the lily pads. It's really nice because when they're facing inside the lily pads, they're looking away from you, and normally you just see that tail fluttering, and that's what'll give them away and they won't see you, so you can get off a good shot. So when I go down the shoreline, I like to really hug that shoreline because those fish won't see me coming when I'm right up against that shoreline. If I'm a few feet off of the shoreline, those fish will see me, so that part doesn't really work for me. So I really have to hug the shoreline. So see what your fish are doing and react to the way that your fish are. Look to see what your fish are doing and where they are. I've also found that varying your speed also plays a part in this. I have found that going a little quicker is good for me. This may be also because my trolling motor seems to be more quiet at a faster speed than at the lowest speed that it goes. So that may be the part in why going faster for me works better. But I've also found that there is some shorelines where it's an actual shore like a beach where it isn't a sudden drop off, where it's 2-3 feet deep, 10 or 20 yards from the shore. In those cases, I swing out away from the bank a good amount, so that way those fish have to swim towards me to swim away. It gives me a better chance for a good shot. So really just read your fish and just try varying your speed and change the distance from the shoreline that you travel. So the second method is ambushing. So if you're going to ambush, I use that method when I can't get close enough to the fish. So if they're on a bed or they like a certain area where they keep going to, I'll go ahead and sort of stake out and stay there. I'll anchor myself up in the shoreline. If there's a place where I can get on shore and stay there, then I'll do that. But most of the cases, I just anchor up and I just wait for the fish to come back. With the tilapia, they normally come back in 5 to 10 minutes. So it gives me enough time to get up in the weeds, get out of sight, and wait for them to come back to the bed to where I have an easy shot. If you can't get out of the way and you can't get out of their line of sight, just put your boat up in the weeds, act like a tall tree, and see if they'll come to you. But if you can, just try to get up around a cove or around a curve and see where that fish comes from. Like this video, I should have been to the left on the opposite side of where I was. As you see, I'm posted up right here, just straight. The bed is right over to the right, but the fish were coming out of that canal from the left side of the screen, traveling right. They could easily see me and they weren't really coming too close. It would have been better if I put my boat over here on that red circle. That way I could still see the bed and I could see the fish traveling downstream. So just to wrap this video up, whenever you're bow fishing, just try to read your fish, see where they are, vary your speed and vary your distance in between the coast. And if you're having a really hard time and you know where the fish are, just stay there and see if you can wait it out and get a good shot on a fish. I can't speak for carp or any other of the normal fish that you would bow fish. I'm just speaking with my experience from tilapia. So I hope you got some ideas, learned a little bit. If you did, drop me a like, let me know you liked it, questions down below, and please subscribe if you want to help support JTgatoring. As always, I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you for watching. This is JTgatoring.